Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, 9:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL Instant Mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history, in 1916, in Seattle, Washington, in the United States, a small company called Pacific Aero Products was founded by a gentleman named William Boeing. The company, of course, later evolved into Boeing Aircraft. Today's birthdays are not too many of note, although Jean-Claude Van Damme, the actor, I assume he's originally French, a kickboxing kind of person, is 65 years old today, which means he either has a body double in his most recent movies or they're using old footage. We'll go to our news. It's sort of a busy morning. One of the largest earthquakes in recent years struck off the southern tip of New Zealand this morning. It was a 7.8. It did in fact generate a small tsunami. If you look at the map here, it's the two orange marks over on the right-hand side. It's just off the South Island of New Zealand. We'll discuss it more in a second. As we were researching this, we noticed the bright red square off to the east of New Guinea. That's a 5.5 quake that has not generated any tsunami warnings, nor has it generated any damages that have been reported yet. Regarding the New Zealand quake, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii indicated that less than 8-inch high waves in fact rolled in as a result of the tsunami, so they canceled it. According to the information being given to us now, the quake's epicenter was about 100 miles off the west coast of the southern island of New Zealand. It struck at about 9:22 Greenwich Mean Time this morning, and it was widely felt, as you would imagine, across the whole South Island. Police in one town, the town of Tuasta Perry, said they had reports of minor cracks in buildings as well as stock falling from supermarket shelves. Scientists in New Zealand reported aftershocks, the first one of 6.1 magnitude, occurring about 19 minutes after the main quake. In Iran, there was an air crash this morning. All 168 people on board were killed. It was a Tupolev Russian-made plane. It crashed in the northwestern part of the country this morning. It was on its way from Tehran to Armenia. The airline was Caspian Airlines. Caspian Airlines is confirming that the plane went down. It was a Tupolev 154. According to the airline, 15 or 16 minutes after takeoff, the plane fell near the Iranian city of Kazvin, about 90 miles north of Tehran. The cause of the crash has not been found. It was carrying 153 passengers and 15 crew members. A senior Iranian official said the plane had experienced technical problems and tried to do an emergency landing. According to him, unfortunately, the plane caught fire in the air and crashed. TV footage showed debris from the plane and some body parts, as well as a 30-foot deep hole. 8 members of Iran's national junior judo team were on the plane. It was the third deadly crash of a Tupolev Tu-154 in Iran since 2002. Some insurance-related news. We understand from Insurance Insider that the General Insurance Corporation of India is on the slip for the Tu-154. According to the Insurance Insider, the hull value of the plane would be about $45 million US. It's not known yet as to who broke the risk. Back to the metro crash in Washington, D.C. that left exactly 9 people dead last month. Some information is coming in now saying that AIG and Lloyd's may face a combined total of more than $100 million in claims tied to that crash. This is coming from Bloomberg News. The cost to the pool of insurers, which also includes Bermuda-based XL Capital and Berkshire Hathaway, will depend on estimates of medical care, loss of expected lifetime earnings, and the degree of negligence by the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. According to a plaintiff's attorney in Washington named Peter Grenier, the cost will easily exceed $100 million. The managing director and transportation practice leader at Marsh McLennan, Mark Langer in New York, said that underwriting criteria will now get more strict. Insurers' concerns about accidents may also encourage transit systems to buy new, safer equipment. Well, if you have a life insurance policy on this man, this news is probably somewhat alarming. Reports from Los Angeles coming from the entertainment website TMZ.com is saying that the Los Angeles Police Department is treating Michael Jackson's death as a homicide and is focusing on one of his doctors, Conrad Murray. Murray's lawyers insist he's been cleared of wrongdoing. TMZ is saying that multiple law enforcement sources say the evidence points to the anesthesia propofol as the primary cause of Jackson's death. Murray apparently is the person who administered the drug, whose brand name is Diprivan, to Jackson. When the police searched Jackson's rented mansion, they found propofol, an IV stand, and an oxygen tank. And Diprivan is used to induce unconsciousness in hospital patients ahead of major surgery and should not be used except only by an anesthesiologist. Of course, most traditional life insurance policies have a double indemnity clause, which is triggered when an accident or murder occurs. It's not yet known at this time what Jackson's actual life insurance policy was. The only types of information we've seen regarding insurance and Jackson's death focus on the lost profits due to the event cancellation. The Russian grain crop for this year is imperiled. Drought has destroyed about 7% of it. This is according to Russian news agency reports this morning. They're citing the Russian agriculture minister. The worst hit areas are the Orenburg region in the Ural Mountains, where about 1.12 million hectares have been affected, the Samara region in the Volga area, and the Saratov region in southern Russia. In total, over 3.2 million hectares have been parched by this drought. The drought is threatening Russia's annual grain harvest, which is expected to hit 85 million metric tons this year. The ministry is taking emergency measures as we speak. The stock market's up about 181 points now as we go to a word from our sponsors. The cost of living in the U.S. rose more than forecast last month, led by a jump in gasoline costs. The Consumer Price Index increased 0.7%. This is the biggest jump since July of last year, and it follows a 0.1% increase in May. A surge in gasoline costs in recent months, of course, is now abating, indicating inflation now may also moderate as the year goes on. According to Joshua Shapiro, an economist, quote, "We've had a blip in energy prices, which has since been reversed. The disinflation picture is still very much in place." In a separate report today, the New York State Manufacturing Empire Index shrank. Shrank at the slowest pace in more than a year this month. This means that the decline in New York State manufacturing seems to be evening off.